This Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay campaign has strong language and adult themes.
The enemy within.
At the end of the last one, we had all of you at the Three Feathers Inn. Astrid was outside, hanging around the boats, watching the Morians come in with their coffin. And we had Fisk and Jahn were outside the tavern talking to the Morians, wondering if they were here for Jahn, as Fisk believed he was dead. And we had Mr. Neumann was inside with Philippe, who was exposed as a cheat and was agreeing to repay the halfling that he'd been sitting with. And at that same time, Gunnar announced, "You stole money from us as well," and was storming over to him in the tavern. Does anyone have anything to add or clear up before I get going with that?
I think most of us are heavily intoxicated, if I remember right.
Yes.
Astrid's pretty sober.
Yeah.
I think also Dietrich's pretty sober as well.
Yeah, it was Jahn and Fisk were having a good old drunken ramble. I don't have my microphone in the typical position I do today, so if I'm a little quiet or you can't hear me, just let me know.
Yeah, you sound just fine to me.
Excellent. Quinty, aka Mr. Dietrich Neumann, you're standing next to Philippe and he's handing over several shillings to the halfling that he'd been sitting with, and Gunnar and Holtz come storming across the tavern towards him, and Gunnar erupts at Philippe and he says, "So you'll pay some halfling, but not your fellow man?" And as he begins screaming at Philippe, the halfling looks up and says, "I'm a gnome, you rotten git!" And Philippe's trying to hand coins to this gnome while Gunnar is screaming at him. And Dietrich, an argument just breaks out between Philippe.
I mean, Dietrich is just going to head upstairs at this point.
Okay, so you hear the argument trailing behind you as you begin to make your way upstairs. Philippe and Gunnar shouting at each other, and the faint hints of the gnome, everyone looking over. As you head upstairs, Dietrich, let's hop to everyone else, see what they're up to. Fisk and Jahn, you're outside contemplating your own existence after meeting with the Morians. What are you guys up to now?
Excellent question. Jen, you promise you're not dead?
He's dead. Rest in peace, Jahn. He was a good peasant.
Let's come back to Fisk and Jahn. Astrid, you were hiding down in the boat, a boat that a couple had come in on with two boatmen, and next to it is the boat of the Morians that they took the coffin from. What are you up to as you bob about in the cool breeze of the river?
Is Astrid aware of any of the growing commotion inside the tavern?
It's quite some distance down the bank to the river, so you'd likely not hear the commotion. You definitely hear Fisk and Jahn, though, having a very animated conversation, losing any filter of volume as they've been inebriated.
And can Astrid spot any suspicious-looking, maybe priests of a death cult wandering her way?
They seem to have gone inside with the coffin, and that's where they remain.
Right. Astrid is going to sneak her portly yet delightfully limber frame over to the Morian's boat. And, okay, I forgot whether I investigated the Morian's boat or not.
Just the coffin, you'd found that on there as a point of interest, but you can investigate further?
Yes. If everybody's occupied inside, it's reasonably dark outside. Astrid will take a good old peek-see, the city dweller way.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's make a skill test for that.
Mm-hmm. Which skill would you like me to use?
I'm just taking a quick look. 1 second. Sorry, I don't have my... I'm not on my computer. I'm on my work computer, so I'm a bit delayed.
Mm-hmm. Are you thinking intuition or something?
We'd need some kind of investigation. All my notes are all over the place here, so I'm going to be very slow today looking stuff up.
That's fine.
While I'm looking that up, Jahn and Fisk. Jahn, Fisk was asking you if you promise you're not dead.
He's dead.
I thought I just heard him.
I thought I did too, but I didn't hear him answer the question.
I'm fine.
Oh, hey.
There you are.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
What, do you think I'm dead?
I saw you in the forest.
Which forest?
On the way here, your body, cold, with strange marks on you.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. You sure you weren't mistaken?
I'm sure. I thought you were dead. Wasn't sure you were you, to be honest.
Well, I know who I am, but I don't know who that was. Are you sure it just wasn't a very strong resemblance?
Do you have a twin?
Well, if I did, not anymore. But in all seriousness, no, I've never had a twin.
That's how strong the resemblance was. It would have been a long-lost brother or something like that. He had the strangest markings on him. Tattoos of the strangest sort.
Well, I don't know anything about that.
We might want to watch out, he says with a very limited moment of clarity. There may be maybe some body switchers around here. Someone who's not what they look like. Or maybe everyone's who they look like. Oh, go ahead.
Also, I was going to ask Astrid, while they're interacting, can you make a perception test? Sorry, Crimzo, aka Fisk, I'll give it back to you.
That's all right. I was just going to say, or maybe they're all who they say they are. I need to take a piss. And he wanders over to the side of the establishment. Nice.
Oh, wow. That's 2 success levels. That's based off your intuition, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't have anything pulled up in front of me today. I'm very underprepared. Sorry.
You're good.
So I'll be relying on you guys too for this session until next session. For
sure. Yeah, that's 2 SMs.
Excellent. So all your skills are listed out, so that should be correct. 2 success levels. Okay, let's give you 2 facts about this boat, Astrid. There's a very small cabin on there, and it's not locked. You can let yourself in. And there's not much in here. Typical things you'd expect: food, drink, not much else. Some Mauryan robes and such. And as you look through, you do find a small piece of paper, and luckily you can read. This
Astrid
piece
takes
of
the paper. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say Astrid takes the paper in her large ham fingers and reads it with diligence.
It's a contract, and it appears to be written in almost gibberish. It's in Reichspiel. It's something you understand, but it seems to be written in a very funny way. Could you make me an intelligence test, please?
Sure. Her intelligence isn't that good, but I'll try. I bombed that by 1 SL.
Okay.
Was this test an average or challenging test?
It would just be challenging. So just a flat
Okay.
0. Yeah. You're not able to tell much by this, Astrid, and you fail by 1, so you seem even more confused than before. It's definitely about transporting the coffin. You can tell that much, but other than that, you can't figure anything else out from the letter. The second thing that you'll find here, because you've got 2 success levels of your perception, is you find other clothes. So they have their Mauryan robes on, but they have these dirty leathers, boots and jerkins, a few daggers, stuff that you typically find on a commoner rather than a Mauryan.
These daggers, would Astrid be able to discern maybe if they were made from any particular place or how high or low grade the metal is?
Well, it just so happens that you've got the trade skill of smithing, so why don't you make a test, a challenging test?
Absolutely. Missed that by 1 SL.
Okay. You're not able to tell much about them, other than that they are common as muck and they've not been sharpened. It looks like they've been used for a long time and not taken very good care of. It could still stab someone, but it wouldn't cut through armor particularly well. So it's a very low-grade dagger.
Well, if that's all she can find, Astrid will opt to abscond with the letter. And how many sets of the Mauryan robes are there?
There's no Mauryan robes here, but there is 2 leather jerkins and some boots and 3 daggers.
Okay. A jacket for the hell of it.
Okay.
And then after getting those, assuming no one has snuck up on the boat, Astrid will see if she can get back in her original boat that she is mildly trespassing on. I don't know if you want to switch the focus to any other characters.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Fisk, as you finish relieving yourself on the side of the building, like so many others, there are stains all along this lovely white wall at a certain height. From roughly a 6 foot high to 5 foot high man, it would make sense that a lot of people have relieved themselves here. Jahn is standing over to his side, and we'll hand it back to you guys briefly before we go back to Dietrich.
Yeah, outside, getting a lovely bit of fresh air, watching these people with the coffin and robes. I believe last time they told me they were Maurians, so after a brief confrontation with them, I discern that they're no real threat to us, or anyone here, as far as I can tell. They're certainly pliable enough when being shouted at. So I will check how many coppers I've got and think about going inside for another ale. Maybe I'll have a walk around the building.
Do we hear anything, any of the ruckus going on inside?
You definitely have heard Gunnar's voice. While you're taking a piss, you would have heard him call Philippe a thieving bastard. And then at this point, you can hear the 2 of them arguing.
Okay.
Yeah, what time of day is it, by the way?
Let me check. if you had a digital watch on your wrist, it'd be 9:45 p.m. at this point. But
Yeah,
it's
just kind
dark.
of sundown-ish.
Yeah.
Might be best to start heading inside then and think about another ale.
Sounds like a plan to me.
This window's being really well guarded.
So we'll head back inside and see what's going on in there.
Okay. As you head back inside, Quinty, you're heading upstairs. What are you up to?
Mostly Dietrich is trying to stay out of the way of the coachmen when they've discovered they've lost money. So he's just like pacing about outside until he hears the argument quiet down a little.
Okay, as you stand upstairs, there's two guards to the left towards the Gravin's quarters. To the right, you see the Morians shoving the coffin into a room and then clumsily slamming the door behind them, and you can hear them talking and moving around in the room at the end of the hall.
Can I hear what they're saying?
Oh, you can go up to the door and make an average perception test.
All right. I do not succeed.
Oof.
What'd you roll?
That's a
A 91.
not quite.
That's not it.
As you go up to the door and put your ear up to the door, you begin to hear the muffled talking, one of them saying, "Be careful with that!" And quickly it's overshadowed by the guard at the other end of the hall erupting into a coughing fit. You can't hear a word. It's extremely frustrating.
All right. How's it downstairs?
It's erupting as Jahn and Fisk walk in to the tavern. Philippe is screaming at Gunnar. "I was ready to defend you from bandits, and you turn around and you treat me like this." And he's screaming at him, and Gunnar's response is, "I should have handed you over to those road wardens. In fact, someone arrest this filth now. Arrest him."
I mean, this was bound to happen at some point anyway.
Fisk will mumble, "We're not on the river. I'm Riverwarden." Not on the river.
You can take the river out of the river warden, but you can't take the warden out of the river.
He looks awkward, scratches the back of his head, and then tries to skirt the side of the argument towards the bar to get another drink.
Oh, quick question.
Yeah.
Is our room next to the Morian room?
It's one away. So you have two rooms, and one of them is like one room away from theirs. If you think of the hallway curves around, and theirs is at the corner.
Yeah. Okay then. Well, I'll move into the room, but keep the door open.
Fisk, could you grab another drink at the bar?
Yes.
Okay,
Which-
make me a consume alcohol test.
All right. Let's see.
Would do challenging at this point because you're pretty.
Not seeing it. Oh, consume alcohol. That's why it's a C. So I've got. So it's 40. That's pretty good. Okay, Google. Roll 2d10.
You rolled 3 and 6 for a total of 9.
Nice. Stop. All right, so I got 1 success level.
Excellent. You've still got your wits about you as you begin drinking another ale at the bar, watching Gunnar stand there in front of Philippe and go, "Is no one going to arrest this thieving Bretonian bastard?" Astrid, let's cut back to you.
Right. No suspicious individuals skulking about looking suspicious?
You hear hooves coming down the side of the tavern. A large horse trots down, and there's a figure, a shadowy figure atop it. You see them throwing a few coins to the porter and then climbing down from the horse and moving to begin to make their way inside. From their outline, you can see that this figure is wearing large furs around their neck and back.
Ignore me.
Perhaps in an Ulrichian fashion, or from Middenheim, or up north? The Mark of a
It would
Foreman,
seem
maybe?
familiar in that way.
As someone's calling me on FaceTime right now. Shit.
Sorry, I think that just
think
might have
that
been
is-
me going in and out.
Alright, crap. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
Okay, and you said there were poor people lying about, right?
There's not many people outside. There's like 1 or 2 people having a drink, and the porter. So that's a person that takes care of people's horses and luggage and things like that.
I misheard you there. Astrid will climb out of the boat, and assuming she doesn't have to make any test, and also that no one sees her, she's going to start making her way, casing about the outline of the tavern. More so to keep an eye on the stranger, and to rush in to violently save a Grendine in need.
Okay. As you get closer, you see the shadowy figure come into some of the light from the tavern. It's a woman. She has a few scars on her face. She's wearing some light armor and some heavy furs around her neck and on her head as well. And she begins to make her way inside. And as you walk around the tavern, there appears to be no guards. There's no one keeping an eye outside the tavern. There's just a few people here and there having a drink, quietly talking outside, smoking a pipe. Nothing of major interest. You can hear a few interesting sounds coming from the outhouse, and that's about it.
I'll go closer to the tavern.
Fisk and Jahn, as you're inside the tavern, having a drink at the bar, a woman enters. Same woman I just described, in light armor, furs, scars upon her face. And she looks pretty intimidating, but she politely nods to anyone that looks her way as she begins to make her way towards the bar as well.
Well, the bar is where I'm heading.
Okay, you join Fisk at the bar, and this woman walks up, and she begins to get into conversation with the innkeeper at the bar. It's hushed, like because there's people talking and you're further down the bar. You can't hear it unless you really were to listen. But she seems to be having quite a conversation with him.
Can I listen in about what while I'm waiting for him to be finished so I can order a drink?
Yeah, absolutely. Make a challenging perception test.
That is a pass by It's just my initiative, so it's 1 SL.
Okay, 1 success level. Do you think that, I know Jahn is from a small town or village, and I don't want to make the assumption on his behalf for you. Do you think he would have heard or know what a Kislevian accent is?
No.
Russian?
Okay.
He'd probably only know that she's speaking foreign.
Okay. So she has a very heavy accent, Jahn, as you're listening in, and you can understand the innkeeper, and he's basically saying to her, room is this much, and she's saying, da. And who else has come into this establishment this evening? And he begins to explain to her, oh, we've had some Morians come in, those guys having an argument. Why are they arguing? And he explains it's over money. She's looking over at Gunnar and Philippe and seems to be weighing them, and then looks back to the innkeeper and just continues the conversation about, can I get a drink, something to eat? Is there anything else interesting happening here?
Well, when they're done, I'll gesture to the barkeeper and ask for another ale then, and I'll sit down and drink a bit.
All right, make me a consume alcohol test, Jahn.
Oh boy. One level of failure, so that's 1 level of drunkenness.
Excellent.
I believe that's my first for tonight. Perhaps not my last.
The innkeeper asks you, Jahn Fisk, didn't you come in on the coach with that screaming coachman?
Yeah, but and he's slurring, and I'll do my best. I'm a river warden, you see. We're not on the river.
Oh, I see. So if he were to find his way into the river, then it would be your responsibility. Is that right?
Absolutely. On a boat, in a boat, round a boat.
Excellent. He turns back and he calls over to Philippe and Gunnar. Gentlemen, by chance, could we perhaps take this argument down to the dock and out of the tavern so that it's not around everyone else?
Shit.
Gunnar looks at him confused, and Philippe sort of shrugs and says, I do not owe this man anything. And Gunnar looks around and says, I'll have the argument here. I want my coin. I want it. It continues for a few more moments, and then Philippe gives him a few gold crowns, and Gunnar takes the crowns. It looks like it's less than he was claiming was taken, but Gunnar says it's better than nothing, and don't you fucking think you'll ever step foot on my coach again. Him and Holtz make their way back over, and the gnome makes their way to the sleeping quarters. There's like a shared sleeping quarters, a cheaper area, and Philippe sits back down at the table. He looks very fed up. Dietrich, how are you getting on upstairs? You just chilling out?
Somewhat. Has it calmed down now?
You can't hear any more screaming down there.
Okay. I'll start heading down. Again.
You see Jahn and Fisk at the bar, and down the bar from them is a weathered-looking woman in furs.
Fisk says to Jahn, he shouldn't have stolen that gold. That Bretonnian. Thieving Bretonnians, man.
Okay, I head over to them and say, his Astrid is watching the window now.
I haven't seen her in a while.
I think she said
watching the window.
I think she was.
She said she was.
Yeah, so she must be.
Right.
We were just watching some, checking for some suspicious types coming through the door, and we got a bit thirsty, I guess.
Okay. So you're saying that she offered to take your place, then? And is now out there watching the window?
I say, looking into my cup.
Look me in the eye.
Yeah, someone's watching the window, I'm pretty sure.
Who's watching the window? Could it be an
Someone we
assassin
know.
watching the window?
Oh, should I go check?
You know what? Why don't we go check together?
Oh, fine. Come on, then.
I'll watch the tavern, Fisk says as he takes another swig.
Yeah, I'm just down this quickly then and go outside. That's probably why I failed to check.
Okay. And maybe hold off on that drink.
Were you talking to Fisk?
I'm enjoying it.
I'm talking to both of you.
Free drinks for the night. It'd be a shame to waste them.
Yeah, but I mean, the money ends if we fail at our jobs.
Last one night, one way or another. Way I see it.
I'm not a big believer, but when I die, I'd like the gods to hesitate before they throw me to hell.
Right.
I wonder if you feel the same way.
Let's see. Fisk takes another sip, looks down, looks back up, and says, I can fight. I'll be able to take any assassin. 10 assassins, 20 assassins. And he's saying this a little louder than he should.
Dietrich gives up. Okay, let's head out then.
Yeah, let's go.
Astrid, what do Dietrich and Jahn find you up to?
Astrid is, I guess, not being particularly stealthy, and she's more just kind of casing about the place. Really, she's near the boats, and I guess she's looking moderately suspicious. But she gives a very hearty wave, and I just waved in real life, and I feel stupid for that. But she'll greet them very heartily and tell them that she's found probably one suspicious person.
And you've got that note, too.
Oh, yes. And Astrid belatedly remembers that she found a note. And she'll conspiratorially usher Dietrich and Jahn over, present them the letter in Reik spiel. I think something to do with transportation and coffins, but I found some kind of crappy weapons. It's really low-grade steel and kind of a hodgepodge of iron and other metal alloys. So it's not the weapons and armor of what I think the Morians are.
All right,
They're
Dietrich
pagans,
reads the letter.
Dietrich, do you want to use a flat intelligence, or do you think evaluate would be appropriate?
I'd certainly like evaluate.
I think it makes sense. Being able to evaluate what it means.
All right then. All right. Either way, that's 2 levels of success or 3 levels of success. Oh, three levels of success.
Excellent. Okay, you'll get 3 points out of this letter. So the first is you figured out it's code that they're transporting a man in the coffin. Second part is that they are to make sure that he remains intact. And the third part is to make sure that he does not wake up.
Okay. Okay, so they're transporting someone who's alive in that coffin. And they're keeping him unconscious.
Are they prone to doing that?
Are they?
A ritual?
Seems a little suspect to me.
I mean,
So, like, they're keeping him prisoner.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
seems
that's
immoral.
the guess.
We could rescue him.
We could. Could be a vampire.
Astrid gives you a very serious look. Like
Morians are against the undead.
Yeah,
Would that mean that they're not real Morians?
could be, or it could be that they're finding a place to put him in jail more permanently.
Why would they have a vampire unless they're assassins? Letting loose a vampire to the Grandine.
Well, I don't know the inner workings of their order, but I mean, having someone who's undead can often be who's lived centuries can be a useful source of information.
Astrid nods in concession to the point. Do you want me to keep an eye out on their boat, or
That doesn't
keep
sound
watch out
right.
here?
Sigmar says vampires and stuff are evil. They can't have a vampire.
It's immoral; they should be killed.
So, do we want to unleash whatever's in the coffin? Be it human or vampire?
If it's service to the Empire and to the Grandine and bringing about law and order, then I wouldn't mind it.
What if it's someone in trouble?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay,
Fisk
so
is
how
not there, but out of character. At the very least, we can go up and talk to them to get more info.
Okay. Maybe me and Astrid go up and talk to them. Is it Fisk who's with us? Or is it
Fisk is
Jahn?
at the bar. Jahn is
Okay,
outside.
Jahn. Maybe Jahn, you stay here and keep an eye on the window. In the meantime.
All right then. I'll make sure no one tries to escape the building either.
All right.
Mm.
Okay. That sound good to you,
Lelusha.
Astrid?
Oh, sorry. I was going to ask a question out of character.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Lelusha, can Astrid tell that Jahn is maybe mildly imbibed?
Probably not yet. So I've only failed one.
Oh. Astrid will give a contented shrug, and after giving a pat on the back to Jahn, she'll give a nod of assent to Dietrich. She's ready to head up with him.
All right then.
While you are all holding court outside, Fisk, as they leave the tavern, the woman in furs walks over to you and smiles and nods as she stands next to you.
Ah. Greetings. Greetings, miss. What can I do you for? What can I do for you? What can I... hello.
What is this about assassins?
Can you translate that?
Assassin, you are shouting word, a moment ago.
Assassins? No assassins. We kill assassins.
Which assassins?
I can't understand your accent.
Good. Which? Who?
Oh, we don't know. Could be. I don't know. Assassins could be anywhere. Could be anyone. Could look like anyone. Are you an assassin?
No. Who are you?
Good. Riverwarden, official business.
Do you have the documentation?
I can pull out my. Do I have like a little badge on my uniform? In my.
You tell me. However, you think Fisk would be represented as a river warden.
Okay. I'll pull out a badge, something signifying like a little part of his uniform that he keeps pinned on his lapel.
Now we have to have a moment where your river warden chief is like, "Give me back your badge and your gun." You're the best damn river warden I know. But the woman nods at the badge and goes, "Ugh," and then she just walks away.
That was suspicious. Fisk goes back to giving an animated description of what happened to his father to the barkeeper. Not keeping an eye on the not keeping a very good eye on the bar, the entrance, I should say.
Could we get some of that description about your father?
Absolutely. Okay. It happened about 14 years ago. My father, great tradesman, great boatsman, taking ships this way, that way, Northland, Southland, Britonia. He was a shipmaster. One day, slavers, they creep up on his vessel in the dark of night, small rowboat you see, and they throw ropes up and storm the vessel. They capture everyone on board and steal all of its supplies. You see, they were trading Northland, Southland. You know, the slavers, they took him right out of the night and sold his ship. And they didn't tell me. No one came back. They didn't tell me months later. I thought he was still trading. And he's like a little discombobulated telling this story, but he'll also say, I try to look for him, but no one will take me without gold. No one will take me to the slavers. Don't know where they are, but no one will take me. So what I need is a boat. I need a boat, sail, sturdy, and I need to find him. Me dad.
Aren't you a river warden? Shouldn't you have a boat?
They won't let me take it for personal use, they say. Only official business, they say. Just a recruit, they say. Ugh. Been a river warden for, what was it, 10 years, 4 years? Something like that. Been a river warden for years. Still no boat. Keep me on the river, they do.
Sorry to hear about your father. Lots of sad stories like that across the Reik land. Doesn't make it any better, but yeah, have an ale in the house.
All right. Thank you. I just need a boat. He mutters about boats for about the next minute or so before he forgets what he was talking about.
Make me another consume alcohol test, Fisk.
Okay, Google. Roll 2 d10.
You got 5 makes 9.
It's a failure with 0 levels either way.
Oh, okay then. So you're like mildly inebriated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll say narratively that you're drunker, but we won't add a level of drunkenness.
Okay, sounds good. I think I had one from last time, 1 or 2 from
Yeah,
last
you
session.
guys both had one.
Okay.
Okay, as that happens, you see Astrid and Dietrich coming back into the tavern.
Astrid's walking with a purpose, a gait, a stroll, a swagger. And
Yep.
does she spot the foppish woman or the northern-looking woman?
Yes, at the bar. She's just walked away from. Oh no, that would have happened. While she's standing further up the bar from Fisk. She's just having a drink and watching the room.
Astrid will kind of gently nudge Dietrich, maybe in the arm or kind of like the side of the ribs, and whisper that that's the suspicious-looking woman. It's the only suspicious person I found, apart from the Morians.
Dietrich nods. Fisk is nearby, right?
Yep.
How sloshed does he look at a glance?
Let's see. He's muttering to himself into his cup. He's kind of swaying back and forth. He looks pretty inebriated.
Did
Well,
she might have poisoned
Points to
him.
Fisk. I point to Fisk and say, I think that's the best we can do with what we have.
Can we draft any labor?
Who?
I mean, it's service to the Empire. It should be good cause, right? But Sigmar for the southern people.
Oh, we're talking about the talking to the Morians.
No,
Or we're talking about keeping an eye everywhere.
keeping an eye out. Bless Fisk's heart. Do you think the northern lady might have poisoned him?
Well, I think we need someone to keep an eye on the window, because I think that's the most likely place that an assassin's going to assassin.
Jean's reliable.
Yep. Well, that's what Jean's for. And then we need to torture the Morians.
Torture?
So I think what we have to do, we just have to hope that Fisk is still somewhere in that head of his.
Do you want me to go speak to him?
Go ahead. I'll wait for you outside the. I'll wait for you upstairs.
Astrid gives a manly and stoic nod of assent.
Fisk looks up from his cup and says, "Friends, friends."
Dietrich is heading upstairs.
Slurs it.
Astrid gives another hearty wave of greeting. I just waved again in real life. God damn it. And strolls over to Fisk with a mildly concerned look on her face.
Astrid, strong one, big one. Would you
Yes.
like to have a drink with me on tonight, the night we have free drinks? You know, the bartender gave me a free drink. Can you believe that?
Aren't we already getting free drinks?
He gave me another one.
Ooh, that's... how many beers? How many beers have you had, Fisk?
I've had ale. No beers here. Beers was my father's drink. You know my father, he was taken.
And is he okay?
No, he's not okay. No one's seen him in years. Need to go rescue him. Get a boat, getting a boat. Not as easy as you might think. Renting prices, purchase prices, building prices. Ugh, a boat.
Fisk.
Yes, friend Astrid.
Friend Fisk, can you, if there might be, enemy combatants about, and Astrid is trying to allude to the fact of assassins without saying the word assassin. And she's going to politely say, perhaps you would like some water to help clear your mind and not focus on the Your father?
Combatants, you say? Oh, you mean the assassins? Oh, don't worry. That woman, she was asking about the assassins too. I think she may be an agent of the Emperor. He says, he slurs a little too loudly.
Astrid will shoot a kind of a glare at the bartender for feeding Fisk these ales, and lay a meaty hand on Fisk's shoulder. I'm like, come on, buddy, let's focus. Yeah, let's not be so loud. I'm sorry to hear about your father.
Secrets, secret missions.
Yes.
Right.
Keep an eye on the doors and the lady, and if anything suspicious happens, just yell.
That I can do. Doors and the lady, ladies and the doors.
Yes.
All ladies, all doors. That lady, that door.
Not all ladies. The the lady with the furs, and then the main door, the main entrance.
Did you know that Bretonians stole gold from our carriage drivers? Can't trust anyone these days.
Wait, that wasn't Felipe, was it?
Yeah, they were having a big, loud argument about it. Not too few coins he took out right out of their purse while they were sleeping.
I thought Felipe was honorable, sort of cute in a feminine way.
They've been yelling something fierce about it. I think he paid him back, but no one seems very happy about it. Felipe's not happy. The carriage driver's not happy. No one's not happy. Ugh.
That's wonderful.
Can't trust anyone these days.
You could spread the joy with your free beer, or ale. And maybe if whoever doesn't accept it is being suspicious.
Very crafty, very crafty. He taps the side of his head and then accidentally pokes himself in the eye.
Bless your heart.
I watch the doors. I watch the ladies. I do good watching.
Good watch and spread the free ale and be merry in a non-suspicious way.
Right. And don't talk about the assassins. They're secret, right?
Yes. No assassins. Don't use the A word.
Okay.
Thank you. Astrid will give Fisk one gentle pat on the back before moving off to join Dietrich upstairs. And
Fisk is now swiveling his head towards the door, then towards the lady, then towards the door. Kind of gawping like a amused child.
This is a recipe for something great. Either something really, really bad or something really, really great. Looking about the room, does anything else strike Astrid as suspicious?
Nothing suspicious as you're standing there looking around the room. Just there's the two boatmen talking, the three scholars that Dietrich was speaking to earlier with Jahn, and several servants and guards for the Gravin who are eating their supper. One of the guards walks up to the woman in furs, and you hear him say to her, "Hello, darling," and she swiftly knees him in the groin, and he slowly limps back to his table, holding his stomach, going,
Looking at the woman, does she catch Astrid's eye?
I mean, she's not your typical tavern patron.
Eye to eye. Like, does her gaze meet Astrid's? I could have phrased that better.
Oh, okay. If she meets eyes with you looking over, she just politely nods and smiles.
Astrid will give a stoic nod in response and no smile. moving up the stairs, does Fisk, I guess, is Fisk still watching the door and the lady? Or is he
Yes.
being like merry and trying to spread some drinks around too?
Are we allowed to spread drinks around? Is that something the bartender will fight me on?
You can ask him.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask him. Bartender, innkeep. These drinks are delicious. Finest ale in the land. Finest ale of all the taverns I've been to this week. Both of them. This ale, good stuff. May I share some of these ales and just put it on our tab for the Gravine?
Absolutely. Could I just get you to sign on a piece of parchment?
Never been good with letters myself.
I'll just point. I'll get your hand there, and you can just sign.
Okay.
It's just for your permission to do so.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
He quickly walks around, and one of the other bar staff is like, quickly, get. He comes back with a piece of parchment and a quill and some ink, and
It's just make a marking. If you can't read or write, just make any kind of symbol.
Fisk draws a fish.
very appropriate. He nods and scrolls it up, and he says, "Ales for everyone."
Ales for everyone! He shouts.
There's a cheer from most of them in here. The servants, the guards, the two boatmen especially cheer you. The scholars are very reserved, don't join in, but everyone seems happy, and they begin to pass out ales to everyone.
What does how does the woman react as Fisk is still keeping an eye on her? Maybe not so subtly.
Yeah, if you look over at her, she just smiles and nods, and then goes back to watching the room.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you want to cut to maybe Jahn, but Astrid was going to stroll up to Dietrich and get to the business of politely torturing.
Okay, excellent. So before we cut there, Jahn, how are you doing outside?
Well, I'm just kind of walking around, making sure no one's messing with the windows. I suppose it must be quite dark right now, so I'm not even sure what we're looking for, eh? It's not as if I can see in the dark like one of those bloody magical elves, or what have you. Yeah, just sharing all these wild stories I've been told about the outside world. Like, I got told by travelers they can sprout extra arms like bloody mutants or something and crawl up walls. Never seen an elf, but I'd like to one day.
Maybe you will. As Astrid and Dietrich make their way upstairs, one of the Gravin servants walks past the two guards and down the stairs, and as you're coming up, the servant's going down. Fisk, the servant comes into the main room of the tavern and announces, "The Gravin has requested you all take your rest now." And reluctantly, various servants and guards begin to finish their drinks and drift off into the dormitory. Astrid and Dietrich, tell us about your venture upstairs.
Well, Astrid kind of conspiratorially whispers. I don't know if it's a very loud whisper or kind of a soft whisper, but she informs him of what Fisk mentioned about the lady and how she mentioned assassins after Fisk mentioned assassins, and that there are drinks being shared, and he's keeping, as best as he can, an eye on the lady and the doors.
Okay, Dietrich sighs at the mention of Fisk.
Sweet lad.
Yeah, well, when we get back down, we'll be cutting him off, right?
Yes, I don't want him to get sick.
What is this?
Okay. The moors are on the right. I'll show you the door.
Do you want How do you want to torture them? I've not done much torturing in my past.
I don't think torture is going to be necessary.
Oh.
We'll just knock and ask quite thoroughly about the situation.
Just go out in the open and ask about why they're trying to transport a vampire or man.
Or whatever's in the coffin. Or whoever's in the coffin. Yeah.
Should we go under the guise of some other organization? Some other people?
Why don't we carry ourselves as if we might be?
I mean, could be from the Søggard Church or from some of the other southern religions.
I mean, I think it's best if we sound like we might be. I don't know enough about, and I don't know enough details about any particular church to fake it.
Do I?
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I think we've got if we go to the watch, I think we can threaten to go to the watch if they give us trouble. You know?
There's the watch around. The Fisk. Well, we aren't on any boats, so I don't think Fisk is of much use.
No, but I mean, I'm not an expert on this area, and I know the empire laws can be a bit regional, but I don't think it's legal to transport a body, an unconscious body.
You can ask them if they have a permit for it.
Pardon?
We could ask them if they have a permit for it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can always ask, and we can see if, and if they start denying, we can threaten to go to the law.
Ooh.
See?
To Jim, out of character, Astrid is also removing her apron as a trapping of her burger status, as an artisan, rather. And is just wearing the fine clothes. Kind of well-worn silks of blue and yellow and stuff. Hello? People there?
I was just wondering, can I see into the window of the Morians from the outside?
Would you know which room they're in, John?
No, but if I'm walking around looking into second floor windows, there's not one of them hanging about near a window somewhere, is there?
If you were to walk around the building, you might spot one in a cloak by the window. Make me a perception test and see if Jahn spots anything as he's surveying the building.
No bite.
Well, this is a serious matter, and I don't know how to handle it. I suppose, we're staying outside, and it's up to you three to kind of deal with them. I'm just kind of thinking about it.
I just read Maxine's message. John, it's up to you. You can make a perception test, or we can jump back to the guys. It's entirely up to you.
Nah, that's a failed test. So I suppose I'll just leave it to them. See if anyone runs out. They'll have to deal with me.
Okay, guys. We'll take a short 5-10 minute break, and then we'll hop back in, come to the Morians.
Knights of the Braille are groups of blind, visually impaired and sighted tabletop role-playing game enthusiasts. We have accessible materials, groups and community online. For more information, please visit knightsofthebraille.com. Follow us on Twitter @BrailleKnight. or email us knightsofthebraille@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.